Welcome to the Teaching Autism and Special Education Community Podcast. Hi, I'm Nikki, a passionate special educator, autism advocate, resource creator with over a decade of experience, and you may know me as the face behind Teaching Autism. This podcast is your go-to place for practical tips, hands-on strategies, and inspiring and funny stories to support special educators all around the world, whether it's building independence, creating engaging lessons, or finding that elusive work-life balance. I'm here to help you thrive inside and outside of the classroom. Let's dive into today's episode and make a difference together. Hi teacher friend, and welcome back to the Teaching Autism and Special Education podcast. Before we dive in, a quick little thank you to everyone who's been sharing the podcast lately and tagging me on Instagram. It makes my day every time I see you using an episode doing your planning or sharing it with your teams. If you're new here, hi, I'm Nikki, and I help special education teachers create calmer, more connected classrooms without the overwhelm. And today we're talking about something that hits close to home for so many of us, helping our students build real, meaningful social connections, not forced friendships. Because somewhere along the way, social skills started to mean making everyone interact the same way, and that's not inclusion. So today we'll chat about what authentic social connection looks like for autistic and neurodivergent learners, how to teach consent-based social skills, and how to build classrooms where relationships grow naturally, not under pressure. So let's start by letting go of that traditional idea of friendship, the one that assumes everyone wants constant interaction, play dates, and shared interests. For some students, friendship might mean sitting next to someone quietly. For others, it might mean parallel play, being near a peer but not directly engaging. And for others still, it could just be a shared routine like eating lunch together every day. And all of those are valid. Our job is not to define friendship for our students, but it is to honour how they define it. And this is why forced friendships sometimes backfire. We've all seen it. Two students paired together because they both need social skills practice, or a teacher encouraging a reluctant child to go play with your friends. The intention is kind, but the impact can be uncomfortable. Because when we force interaction, we send the message that your natural way of socializing isn't enough. And what happens is that can cause anxiety, shame, and even long-term resistance to social experiences. Instead of pushing connection, we want to create the conditions where it can happen safely. And that means choice, consent, and shared comfort come first. Because real connection starts with consent. Teaching your students simple, concrete ways to check in with each other. So model phrases like, can I sit with you? Do you want to play? No, thank you. Maybe later. And then this part is crucial because you want to teach everyone to respect the answer. If a peer says no, we celebrate that boundary just as much as a yes. That is how you build social safety. And you can model it in group time too. I'm going to give Jamie a high five. Jamie, do you want one? No? That's okay. Thank you for telling me. That shows every student that their voice matters. Now, the next step is to build comfort before conversation. So before language, there has to be comfort. A lot of our students struggle with eye contact, body awareness, or shared space. So you're going to want to start small. Parallel play is perfect. Shared sensory activities are perfect. Two students drawing side by side or stacking blocks near each other, perfect, because you're teaching them that being around people can feel safe. And then once that comfort grows, communication usually follows naturally. Now, autistic students often connect best through shared interests, so not small talk. Instead of teaching typical social starters like how was your weekend, try connecting through passions. So if a student loves dinosaurs, bring dinosaur books, toys, or videos to group time. If another loves vehicles, have some vehicle sorting activities ready. Peer connection grows when students have something authentic to connect over, not something that they're told they should like. So when you, the teacher, show some genuine enthusiasm for their interests, what you're doing is modeling acceptance for everyone else. And I always say model, don't mandate. So social skills should be modeled, not drilled. Instead of pulling students into this forced turn-taking conversation, you want to model natural interaction throughout the day. Show kindness, greet them genuinely, use humor, comment on shared experiences. That music is fun, isn't it? I like how you built that tower. Students learn so much more from observation than correction. And when they do join in, even for a second, treat that as a communication success. Now, scaffold these social moments gently. When you want to encourage interaction, use structured but low pressure activities. So some of my favorites for this are cooperative building tasks. So think Lego towers, sensory bins, puzzles, partner art projects where each student decorates half, group games with clear roles, so passing the ball, turn-taking games. These provide boundaries and predictability, which lowers social anxiety and keeps the group small. Sometimes even 2 is plenty. And remember that not all connection needs words. So sometimes even just a student's smile, gesture, or a shared laugh can be just as meaningful as conversation. So when you see that spark, like a student looking up when another laughs, a small wave, shared play sounds, celebrate it. You can say things like, I love how you two are having so much fun together. That reinforces connection without demanding speech. If you're using AAC or visuals, you can model simple connection phrases like, my turn, good job, want to play? So students have accessible ways to engage. And instead of rehearsed social scripts like, hi, how are you? Focus on functional social routines. So for example, greeting staff when they arrive, asking for help from a peer, sharing materials during centres, saying all done and handing something back. Because all of these are authentic social exchanges with a purpose. And what they do is they build real skills that transfer beyond your classroom. And part of teaching authentic social skills is helping the whole class to understand that everyone connects differently. So you can use books, visuals, and discussions to show that some people talk a lot, some prefer quiet, some love hugs, and others prefer space. So you can say things like, everyone has different friendship styles, and that's okay. Because when neurotypical peers learn acceptance early on, then inclusion is going to become the norm and not the exception. And even authentic social moments are going to have bumps. So a misunderstanding, an argument, a sensory overload moment, those are all normal. And when it happens, what I recommend doing is to guide repair without blaming anyone. Oh no, looks like you didn't like that. What can we do next time? Let's take a break and try again later. Because what you're doing is you're teaching that relationships can survive mistakes. And this is an essential lifelong skill. And celebrate communication in all forms. Every little spark counts. A student who lets someone sit beside them for the first time, a high five after a game, a giggle shared during sensory play, those are real friendships. They may not look like playground chatter or lunch table gossip, but they're still meaningful. So celebrate them and name them. That was such a kind moment. You shared that space so beautifully. And that positive reinforcement is actually going to build confidence for the next connection. And remember to partner with families. So families sometimes feel anxious about social progress. They might compare their child's friendships to neurotypical peers. Reassure them that social growth looks different for every child and share real examples. So today they sat with Sam doing snack and smiled. That's a beautiful sign of comfort and connection. Help them see that friendship isn't about quantity, it's about quality and safety. So let's stop teaching how to make friends like it's a checklist, and instead let's build classrooms where connection happens naturally and where our students feel safe, respected, and free to be themselves, because friendship shouldn't be forced, it should be chosen. And then when it's chosen, it's real. Your role isn't to pair students up and pray that it works. It's to create a space where connection feels possible and your students can do that naturally. Every time that you model this, you're going to teach the most important social skill of all, and that is how to be yourself and still belong. I hope you found this episode helpful today. Thank you for listening, and I'll speak to you again soon.